Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with Damon, the agent, and that is I. Today is Friday, October the 7th, 2022. I'm happy you're here with me so I can go over the latest real estate trends, also bring on my business spotlight like I always do, and then also end the show with a topic of the day. So today, let me begin. Today's topic is, and this is episode 30 for those of you counting. Today's topic is deed in lieu, short sales, and foreclosures. And the reason why I bring up these topics are because people are going to see them in the future, and people have already dealt with them in some way or form or fashion. I've had questions asked to me in reference to short sales and also deed in lieu, and also the foreclosure has also popped up many times during conversations. So I want to break them down so you can fully understand them. And then also for those of you who may be in a situation where you're considering a deed in lieu, a short sale, or foreclosure, hopefully this helps you to understand things more clearly so you can make the best possible choice for you. Because when it pertains to houses, no one likes to lose their home, so we always want to explore our options. But first, let me explain what a deed in lieu is. A deed in lieu is when you have a mortgage on a property. A lot of times lenders, when you get behind in your payments, lenders will try to use this as an option for homeowners to use. It is actually a voluntary foreclosure. Actually, what you're doing with a deed in lieu is you're giving the mortgage company back the property, but you're voluntarily giving it to them rather than allowing the time to take place for your house to actually go into foreclosure. Banks will always say, yes, we'll take the property back. But there are some things that they do not clearly explain that I want to explain to you. If a homeowner chooses to do a deed in lieu where they want to voluntarily give the house back because they can't keep up with the payments and everything, keep in mind that what the mortgage company normally does is once they have that property, they take that property, they put it on the market. So, and they normally put it on the market at lower than market value, like a foreclosure. They will put the property on the market less than normally what is owed on the property. What ends up happening for homeowners is they end up having to pay the deficiency. So let's say hypothetically, if a person's house goes, they voluntarily give it back to the bank. They had a mortgage balance of, let's say, 450. Let's say the house sold for 350. That $100,000 difference, the mortgage company is going to come after you for that. They're going to give all your information to creditors for you to pay that $100,000 difference. The thing about it is they don't always disclose that to the homeowner about having to still pay the deficiency. So always keep that in mind. If a person, it's like with a car, cars get repossessed, and they'll say if you return the car, it's considered a voluntary repossession, but you still owe the balance on it. They still are trying to get their full amount. So a deed in lieu prevents foreclosure, but it's actually a voluntary foreclosure where you're basically giving the property back to the bank. A short sale, we're going to talk about that. Short sales. Short sale is when a homeowner owes more on the property than the house is actually worth. For example, let's say in 2008, when the housing market crashed, there was a lot of short sales that took place during that time period. And here's the thing with short sales. The process is not short at all. The process with short sales is somewhat, it can take anywhere from 3 months or longer, depending on the mortgage company. The reason is because they collect a lot of data from the homeowners. Now, here's how short sales work. Let's say a person, again, has a mortgage balance of $450,000. Let's say the houses in the areas are selling for $350 again, okay? Once all the deductions, proceeds, taxes, late fees, and everything that's owed on that mortgage is taken out, a lot of times it'll push that person over that 450 threshold, even though they owe less and everything, because of the fact is when you get behind on mortgage payment, the mortgage companies tends to add those things up and add them onto your balance. So a lot of times when short sales do occur, the process is not short. And then also what ends up happening is the mortgage company has to approve the final sale. So they normally require from the homeowner, they want a hardship letter. They want to see tax returns. They even want to see your bank statements in order to make a judgment call. And then what ends up happening is with short sales, some people think, oh, well, the bank will take anything. And that's not the case. What the banks tend to do is they tend to hire a local a local real estate company to do what is called a BPO. A BPO is considered a broker price opinion. And that is when a mortgage, I'm sorry, excuse my word. It's when a real estate company does a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis of all of the surrounding homes to the subject property to see what the home value is of that. And then they send that to the mortgage company. You know, you have a lot of mortgage companies that are in other states, Texas, California, New York, Florida, any and everywhere. They're not locally where the properties are at. So the mortgage company wants to know the true value of these homes. So, for example, let's say a person gets behind in their payment. They owe $500,000. The houses are selling for $300,000. So that's a $200,000 difference. So in order to know that the houses are selling for $300,000, the mortgage company has to hire these companies to see whether the house is selling for in the area. Then once they have all the value of the property and they have all the information from the seller, such as their last 2 years tax returns, their bank statements, the hardship letter, because again, people go through things, but these mortgage companies want you to give them a hardship letter explaining why you couldn't make payments and things of that nature before they can make a decision on whether or not they will approve the sale of your house with a short sale. And then again, based off what the houses are selling in the area, sometimes if you get an offer on a property that's a short sale, they will counter. They don't necessarily accept it. Like I said, let's say they owe $500,000. Let's say the house is selling for $300,000. Of course, you may have an investor who want to offer $200,000 and think that the bank is going to automatically accept that. But truth be told, the bank is not. They're going to counter that offer. That is what a short sale is. When a homeowner is actually selling a property for less than what they owe on the balance to the mortgage company, and the mortgage company has to approve the final sale. That is a short sale. Now I'm gonna get into foreclosures. Of course, people always hear about foreclosures. Now, foreclosures is when a homeowner defaults on the loan agreement between themselves and the mortgage company, and they no longer can make payments or even keep up with payments. And the reason why I say that is because if you give partial payments on your mortgage, you may think that you're doing something, but once you get 3 months behind, mortgage companies tend to start sending you letters and emails talking about foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. Your phone will start to ring after 30 days. I remember back in 2000 and I think it was 2003 or 4, one of those years. I remember I had gotten behind in my mortgage payment, and when I gotten behind, I was putting partial payment on it. I thought I was doing okay because I was putting something. You know, we all grew up in a way where they say put something on it. So I was putting something on my bills, and after 3 months, they sent the letter, and they had stamped on there pre-foreclosure. So, you know, at the time I was dealing with my kid's mother. She was furious and everything. So what I'm saying is, though, is the foreclosures when you default on a loan, when you can no longer make payments, when you've gotten 3 or more payments behind, and the mortgage company tend to want to snatch the property back from you unless you can make arrangements and agree to pay to get caught up in payments. Now, a lot of times it's hard for people to get caught up because let's say hypothetically, if you're paying $2,000 a month, and I'm just using that for an example, you're paying, because apartments nowadays are $2,000 and more a month. Let me go a little higher. Let's say you're paying $3,000 a month, and then you get behind, okay? And then you get behind 2 months. That's what? 6,000. Now, 3 months. That's 9,000. The average person does not have 9,000 to catch up in payment. So what the mortgage company tends to do is they add late fees on there. They add court fees on there, because what they tend to do is with foreclosure is they always send your information to a local attorney. So let's say if your mortgage company is in Texas and you have a house in Florida and you've gotten behind in your payments, they'll send to a local attorney in Florida to file a writ for foreclosure in that local court system. Now, foreclosures, how the process that can vary depending on the area, because you have some courts who are backed up with documents and they process things longer than other courts. So some people can get away with being in a foreclosed house for months, sometimes even years, while some people can only get behind 3 months, and next thing you know, they're getting a sale date on that property. And when I said sell date, meaning once your house goes through the process of foreclosure and the mortgage company has filed with the local attorney to have them file a foreclosure on your property, what ends up happening is the local sheriff will come and slap on the door a letter that basically saying you have X amount of days and X amount of time to get out of the property. Once you get out of the and then what they do is they normally give you like 45 to 60 days once they put that letter on the door. Then once they do that and everything, you have to, of course, vacate the property in that amount of time, or they're going to come by and evict you. It's unfortunate, but the foreclosure is basically when homeowners default on that loan that they made with the mortgage company. And a lot of times mortgage company will tend to go back to the documents that you signed at closing, and they'll tend to hold that because, of course, life happens to everyone. So, sometimes people can make the payments. They've been on their job for 20 years. Something happened. Unfortunately, they may lose their job or, get a death in the family to the point where they can no longer keep up with payments. So then, like I said, banks would then start to talk about foreclosures. And then when they start to talk about foreclosures, of course, nobody wants to hear that because nobody wants to lose their home. That's why for those of you who have gone to see some foreclosed property, you'll say to yourself, well, dang, they damaged this, because you can tell sometimes when people have purposely damaged properties. I showed the property one time, and I kid you not, the tub was in the middle of the living room. And you know what I'm saying? And I know what happened. What ends up happening is people get so frustrated with, taking years to invest into a property only to have it taken away from them. So when they know that there's going to be taken away from them, they really do not want to just give a nice, updated home to the next person who did not work as hard for it. So they're frustrated, they're mad, they're angry. So they tend to purposely damage it. Now, I'm not saying that that's right, but a lot of times emotions are tied up in these homes, especially when people have owned homes for years and they created memories with their families in these homes. It's just heartbreaking and hurtful, but these are the things that happen. So, again, I'm going to briefly recap. The deed in lieu is when it's a voluntary foreclosure when you hand over the property to the mortgage company, but yet you still have to pay the deficiency. So if you owe a balance of 500,000, it sells for 300,000. The mortgage company is going to come after you for that 200,000. The short sale is when you're actually selling the property for less than what you owe on the property with the approval from the mortgage company. And it is not a quick process. It actually takes months. And then, of course, the foreclosure is basically when a homeowner has defaulted on the loan because they can no longer make payments, and then the mortgage company, which is aka the bank, they end up taking the property back from the homeowner and they get it, and then they'll end up selling it either at local courthouse auctions, or they'll put it on the put it on the market for sale through a local real estate agent. And foreclosed properties, short sale properties, deed in lieu properties, which is also a foreclosed property, they all tend to somewhat be priced under, they'll be priced at or below market value for a reason. A lot of times, most of these properties require work, so they do not equivalent the same as the houses that have been in good standings, have been renovated. So again, just know that when you're dealing with foreclosed properties, short sale properties, or a deed in lieu, the best type of loan will always be a conventional loan. If you have to use a loan, you can use a FHA 203K loan, but cash rules supreme. That's why with those type of properties, you always see investors trying to go at it because they know that banks just want to get it off their books, because the longer these banks hold it, the more it costs them money. So they just want to get it off their books. And then once they get it off their books, you know what I'm saying? they'll take a lower offer in most cases, and investors know that. So they tend to price low, and they're coming in dealing with cash. So cash rules supreme when it pertains to buying a lot of things, and buying houses is one of them. So those are the things that I want to talk about in the world of real estate. So my next guest is the same guest that I had last week. Her name is Benita Grant. She is the CEO and owner of Cure My Credit. I had her last week talking about ways to improve your credit. This week, I am bringing her back so she can talk about business credit, because there are some people who inquired about, business credit, how it works, and things of that nature. So we're going to have Miss Benita Grant to come back on, and I shall be right back. Hello, 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 hello. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, talk to us about this business credit now.
Yes, business credit is a hot topic. Everybody wants business credit. I understand business credit is the jam. I love business credit. As long as you have an EIN number, which isn't hard to get, you can literally do it yourself. Just Google how to get an EIN number. You can start to apply for business credit. Now,
Okay.
last week we talked about personal credit and how important personal credit is. Personal credit is attached to your social security number, right? You can't get another social security number. You have one social security number. With business credit, it's attached to your EIN. So you can get literally 6 EINs today. You can start 6 businesses today. So back in the day, like you may see like a lot of stuff on Facebook or YouTube saying that you can get business credit without attaching your social security number to it.
Mhm. Yeah, I heard
Um,
that.
yeah, that is not real. Like, I mean, you can, but it's not like a lot of business credit, right? Because again, you can get 100 EIN numbers, right? You can only get one social security number. So back in the day, people would just start businesses, run up their business credit, then bankrupt their business, or just like disregard that business, and the banks got hip to it. So now the banks aren't really giving you a lot of money unless you are a personal guarantor, unless you attach your social security number to the business. Okay. Now, if your business is like well established, like McDonald's or Walmart, or, like the business is well established, they
Mhm.
may give you money because the business is well established. You don't have to attach your social security number on it. But if you are a mom and pop and you're just starting this business,
Mhm.
they want the collateral, or they want you to feel the hit if you can't handle the loan. So you have to be a personal guarantor to get most of these high money grants or high money credit cards. Now, if you go to like Home Depot and you apply for a business credit card and you don't attach your social security number to it, which means you're not a personal guarantor, you may
Mhm.
get $500. But if you attach your social security number to it and you're a
Mhm.
personal guarantor, then you may get $20,000, right? They're not going to put a whole bunch of money behind just a business that hasn't really been established yet.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So I was going to ask. So say someone's out there and they're looking, and they just started. Let's say their business. Let's say if it's lashes, for example, or hair, or whatever it is that they're doing, and they need business credit. So the first thing they need to do is to get their EIN number.
Yes, you have to have an EIN number to establish business credit. And you can Google it. You can pay someone. Usually, if you pay someone to do it, it's like around $500. If you do it, it really doesn't take that long. You could do it in like, I mean, YouTube it, Google it. It'll take you probably like 20 minutes to do it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, you have to have an EIN number. Now, let's talk a little bit about business credit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so business credit, like personal credit, it ranges from 350 to 850, right? Once you're over 700, you're winning when it comes to personal credit. When you're moving to business credit and you're attaching your social to your business credit, you really want to have a 700 business credit score to get like those high limit credit cards. Okay, so that's why it's super important that we start off with personal credit, because you really have to build your personal credit to be legit enough to start like getting those high limit credit cards. Okay, now with business credit, the number ranges from 0 to 100. Anytime you're over 80 on your business credit, you're winning. Anytime you're over 80, it's like being over 700 on personal credit. You'll most likely get anything you apply for. Okay. When you're under 80, it gets a little tricky. Now, business credit, personal credit, we went over it last week. It has to do with payment history. Your utilization on your credit cards is worth 30% of your score. So not if you pay your credit cards on time, it's just how much balance you have compared to the limit. The utilization of your credit cards needs to be like closer to 10% for you to have great credit scores, right? With personal credit, we talked about how old your credit is, your age of file with your credit, inquiries, all the rest of that stuff. Those make up your personal credit. Business credit is a lot different. It is mainly focused on payment history. Like getting a late payment on a business credit card, it's like get a new EIN number. That's how bad it is. You really like it's 80% of your score. Your business credit score has to do with payment history. Okay. Now, when we talked about last month, we talked about length of history, and adding too many cards lowers your length of history, your average length of history with your personal credit. Business credit is different. They want to see that you can handle multiple accounts at one time. So having a lot of business credit, having a lot of business credit cards, net 30s, all that good stuff is actually helpful for your business credit. The king of business credit is Walmart. And Walmart, literally, they have over 5,000 lines of credit. They start their stores with credit. They don't even start their stores with cash. Walmart is basically like a brick and mortar Amazon. Everything in there is bought with credit.
Okay.
So yeah. So having a lot of lines of credit really does help your business credit.
Okay. Question. Last week you said you had, was it 15, 20 business credit cards or something like that?
Yes. I love business credit cards. Yes,
Okay.
I have a lot of business credit cards. I just got another one like last week for 28,000 because I'm flipping a house and I
Okay.
wanted to get a 12 months free interest. I love business
So
credit. It's amazing.
right. So I'm just trying to help like someone out there who are trying to do it. So after they get their EIN number, where can they apply for the business credit?
So when you get your EIN number, that's the first step, right? Now, they want to know that you're legit, right? You're going to get more credit cards and lines of credit if your company is legit, okay? And legit means you have to be like people have to find you on Google, okay? So you need a landing page, you need a website, you need a Facebook page for your business. Like put it as many places as possible. Put it on LinkedIn, put it on YouTube. Make your business known. Make it so that when someone Googles your name, because I'm telling you, it like these companies have bots. They have bots, robots that quickly look for your company. And if you put in your company's name and then they put it in Google and nothing shows up, they're like, oh, this ain't no legit company. Give them $200, right? I did it. I have like at this point, I think I have 6 EIN numbers that I'm building business credit with, right? One of them, I didn't do the process. I just got the EIN number. I didn't put it on LinkedIn. I didn't put it on Facebook. And I was always getting these low limit credit cards with this. Even though it was connected to my social security number, I was still getting these low limit credit cards. And the ones where I did the work and I made actual landing pages or websites, I put it in yellow pages. I know it sounds silly, you know what I'm saying? But you have to, there is I think the website is called, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say it, but there's a website that will literally link you to, the white pages, the yellow pages, find me on the internet. So you have to be legit, okay?
Okay.
And what that means is you have to have an 800 number,
Oh,
okay?
so you have 800 number.
Yes, you have to have an 800 number or at least a phone number, okay? Your business has to have a phone number attached to it. Um, these little key things will help you build your business such that people want to fund you. And when you're looking to further along, when you're looking to get money and grants and loans for your business, if you don't have a phone number, they can't be calling your cell phone to get to
Right.
your business, right? So you have to make your business legit. You have to have a address, preferably not your home address for your business, unless your business is located out your home. Now, there's so many, I pay for my business address. I go through the same company. You can just Google it, but it's basically a P.O. box.
That's what.
And I pay $10 a month, but it doesn't say P.O. box. You do not want an address that says P.O. box. You actually
Okay.
want a street address. When it
Okay.
comes to,
I
go ahead.
think that no so you say you actually want a street address. So what about doesn't some UPS have it like that too? Some UPS lockbox.
Yes, yes. The UPS has it like that, where you can pay for a PO box, but it actually shows up as a street address. Um, and that's what you want. You need to be legit. So you have to have a phone number. You need to put yourself in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Build your business. You're asking them to give you $20,000, $40,000 to, help support your business. You got to do the work and you have to have your business be legit. Okay. So that's
Right.
the very first thing you do before you start applying for stuff.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
I was just wondering, like, in reference to that. So another question I have is, okay, so you said like to establish business credit. Is that like credit cards, or is it just like a line of credit? How is that normally like when people get it?
yeah, you can do it both ways. Like I have business loans through my business credit. I have business lines of credit, but my favorite is credit cards. I love credit cards because I love points. I love zero interest for 12 months. I love, I love all of that fun stuff. So I love credit cards. And I love credit cards on my business credit versus my personal credit because your utilization doesn't affect you as much with your business credit than it does with your personal credit. Now, what I mean is as much. Okay, so you have in personal credit, you have TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. In business credit, you have Equifax, Experian, and Dun and Bradstreet. So that's like your Dun's number, Dun and Bradstreet.
Mm-hmm.
Dun and Bradstreet, if you go to Dun and Bradstreet after you get your EIN number,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to get your Dunn's number. You just have to log in to Dun and Bradstreet. Now, if you call them, they're gonna have you try to set up business credit with them, and I think it's like $1,000 or $1,500 or something. But you don't have to do all that. You just need the Dunn's number. The Dunn's number is free.
Okay.
But if you call them, they're gonna try to sell you on doing business credit with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the worst thing, but you can do it. You don't have to pay $1,000 to get your Dunn's number. So Dun and Bradstreet is like the old school business credit. It's mainly focused on payment history. That means paying things on time, and then focused on how many lines of credit you have. So the more lines of credit you have, the better your payment history is. Um, the the higher Dun and Bradstreet number is, your higher Dunn's number is.
Okay.
Experian is the business credit card like stakeholder. Most business credit cards
Mm-hmm.
use Experian scoring system to see if you're approved for a credit card. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
Experian's business credit scoring system is different from Dun and Bradstreet. They do put focus on your utilization. So you may have an 80, like if you maxed out two business credit cards, let's say you only have two business credit cards and you max them out, you may have an 80 in Dun & Bradstreet, and you may have a 50 in Experian, because Experian does take into account your utilization on your credit cards. And that's
Okay.
why most credit card companies business credit card companies only really pull from Experian. Now, most banks, when they're giving you loans and stuff like that, they still love pulling from Dun & Bradstreet.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, when it pertains to like, I mean, you said 0% interest rate for 12 years, but I mean, for 12 months, but I guess that's based off your credit and everything. So, like, for example, when people are getting business loan or business credit cards, is it normally the same? Do they normally charge the same amount for like monthly payments and things of the nature? Same,
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You it's about the same amount, because there's not much difference in how much you have to pay for like the minimum payment and stuff like that when it comes to your business credit cards. Now, you getting like interest free for 12 months usually
mhm,
has to do with the promotion of that business card, the promotion that they're running that month or whatever. So I can go for, like, when I go for cards to flip houses and stuff, I
mhm,
go for zero interest or low interest for the next 12 months. I go for those particular cards. Now,
okay,
when I'm just getting cards because I want to play with credit cards, like sometimes when I'm taking a new airline and I've never taken that airline before,
mhm.
uh, I'll get their credit card to get points, but I only get business credit cards. I don't get personal credit cards anymore at all. Like, if you don't
Do you
have
have any? Do
credit
you
card
have any?
on it,
Do you have any personal credit cards right now?
do I have? Yeah, yeah. I have personal credit cards, um, but I just keep them on my credit report to build my personal credit. So they're old credit cards. They're like, the last personal credit card I got was like 8 years ago. And
Mm,
then I have a 20-year-old personal credit card. I have two 20-year-old personal credit cards. And then I think three 8-year-old personal credit cards. And that's all I have. I don't get any more personal credit. Now that I got business credit, I only get business credit because, remember when we talked about your personal credit last week, every time you get a new personal credit card, it lowers your age of file. It
right.
lowers how old your average age of file is. When you get a business credit card, it does not lower. How you doing? It does not lower your average age of file. So that's why. So you getting more personal credit cards can actually lower your score. You getting more business credit cards does not affect um, your personal credit that much. It will cost an inquiry on your personal credit, right? But
Mhm.
inquiries are only worth 10%, and they only really affect you for the first 6 months.
Okay. So between personal credit and business credit is better for the average consumer or personal to help their credit
No,
score.
business credit is what everybody who has a business should be doing.
Okay.
So if you don't have a business and you're not trying to have a business, then don't do it. It's only for people who have a business, because when you have a business, right, they know that you have ups and downs. You got to pay people. There's ups and downs. So like when you go to Home Depot and get a personal credit card, you may get $2,000. But when you go to Home Depot and you get a business credit card, you may get $20,000, because they know as a business you need more money to float jobs. But so what I mean by, when the first thing I talked about is being a personal guarantor, right?
Hmm.
Like when you're getting these $20,000 cards, you're giving them your social as a personal guarantor, okay? Which means that if you're late on your business credit cards, or you go default on your business credit cards, it's going to show up on your personal credit,
Okay.
okay? So it doesn't mean like you're just getting all this money and you can just like run it up and let it go.
Like it's
It
a PPP loan.
Yeah, it's not a PPP loan. It's actual money you got to pay back. You got to pay it back. You got to look at your credit cards as loans that you have to pay back.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So I was just trying to say. So how long do normally a business has to be in business, or they don't have to, they could start today and just get the EIN number, and then they can begin to get their business credit?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in business. The most important thing is you have to be legit, like we talked about. Like you have to be Googleable.
And what
People
does the
have to be
credit
able to
score got to
find you.
be? What do the average credit score has to be for a business owner to get business credit?
So there are 3 tiers of card. Well, there's actually 4 tiers of business credit cards. The first tier, right? So when you're looking at personal credit, you have to get like a secured credit card or a fingerhead or like a store card, right? And then that
Right.
shows up on your credit report with a low balance. And then you're able to get like a Capital One card. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're able to get like a Chase card. And then you're able to get like a rewards card, right? So there's different tiers. If you go straight to a rewards card and you never got a secured card, you're most likely not going to get it. Same thing with your business credit. You have to start off with net 30s. Net 30s means that you have 30 days to pay back the money for whatever product you're getting. Quill is a good company. So you really need just like 1 or 2 net 30s. Quill, Quill, is a good company. Staples is a good company for your first tier card. And then you have to let that show up on your business credit. The way you can see your business credit is to go to nav.com, nav.com. Nav is like Credit Karma for business credit. Now you can get it free, but to be able to see, and I really suggest you to pay for Nav. Once you do, like if you're serious about building your business credit, Nav is like $50 a month or $40 a month, but it monitors your business credit and it lets you know what card you're eligible for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then so you're gonna do the first tier, which is like your net 30s. Then you're gonna move to the second tier, but you have to have the first tier show up on your business credit. Business credit is a little bit slower than personal credit, so it might take 2 months for it to show up. Then the next tier, you're going to go to your Floor and Decor or Home Depot or Lowe's. You're going to get one of those cards. Now on tier 1, you really don't have to add your social security number, right?
Mm-hmm.
On tier 2, usually you have to add your social security number, right?
Okay.
I've seen people do it without their social security number by tier 2, but definitely by tier 3, they ain't playing with you. If you want your social security number, they're not doing it.
Right.
So tier 3 is like your American Express.
Okay.
But remember, even in American Express, there's different tiers to it. So like usually when you go online, right, and
Mm-hmm.
apply for a credit card, so like if you go to Capital One, and you look at their credit cards, it goes in order, right? So at the very top is usually the easiest cards to get, right? Or it might be the very top or the very bottom, right? So if you look at all their credit cards, wherever it says secured card, that's the easiest card, right? And then after that, it's like usually platinum, which is like the second one. And then
Mm-hmm.
after that, you'll get maybe cash back or whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
the very hardest card to get is your rewards card that's connected to like a hotel or airline. Those are the hardest cards to get. Same thing with business credit. You have to start, even when you move from tier 1 to tier 2, and now
Mm-hmm.
you're in tier 3 when you're in American Express, you have to start with their easier American Express cards. And
Okay.
then that shows up on your business credit. And then you can move to your sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can move to your rewards cards.
Okay.
Okay. But you can't, even if you have 800 credit scores, um, if you have a personal 800 credit score, you can skip 1 and 2 and move straight to tier 3. But if you do, like, okay, so if you have a great personal credit score, you can go straight to your American Express cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still might only get $6,000. if you do it in order, if you do 1, 2, then 3, you're most likely be able to get higher limit cards, like 12,000, 20,000. Like I have a credit card that's 42,000. I didn't even know they gave out $42,000 cards. But only that's a business credit card. I don't think they give out $42,000 personal credit cards.
So let me ask another question. So for every business credit that you have, is that for different businesses or is that for the same business?
No, I have them for different businesses, but I
Okay.
don't. My accountant handles that. I don't. If I have a business credit card that I get and it says, Bonita Trash Removal, that's the name of the business, and then I have another business credit card that says, Bonita Build Houses. It doesn't matter. I can use both of those cards to buy furniture for my other business that has to do with, I don't know, staging
Right.
houses. Like the names of
Right.
your businesses don't really have to do with anything. Like they're not auditing you. Like you use your Cure My Credit Score business credit card to flip this house. That's not how it works. Because remember, they're giving you that money based on your business being legit and you being legit by having a good personal credit score.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. That's good information and everything. I mean, I think that will definitely help some people out there as far as trying to establish some business credit. So, do you help people as well to establish business credit and
Yes.
maintain it? Okay. So,
Yes, I
yes.
definitely do that. My company, we help people fix their personal credit, and we
Mhm.
also help people build their business credit. Yes, and I've
Okay.
helped a lot of companies build their business credit so they can, buy trucks for their moving company. I helped a lot of like hair salon businesses get money to start their businesses. So yeah, I mean, that's what we do. We help people. Like one of my clients last year, I helped her fix her business credit or build her business credit, and she was able to get 900 and I think it was $980,000 in a line of credit, almost $1 million in a line of credit to flip houses, which was pretty awesome. Yeah, and
Okay.
she was in DC. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what your business is. I mean, you can have a business, you know, doing people's eyelashes. It really does not matter. You just have to be legit and you have to be Googleable.
I think I'm very Googleable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without So I mean that wouldn't be a problem. But I'm just saying some people, like I said, there's some people out there who are young, who trying to establish themselves. So we just want to give them more avenues as far as establishing credit. Because let me ask another question. Let's say they have bad credit, personal credit, but their business is starting up and they have the capital and the resources. Are they able to get a business credit or no? They're not.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to.
Not really, because the only way you're going to be able to get business funding and you have bad credit, bad personal credit, is if you are like with a franchise that is already legit. So like if you bought a franchise with like Subway, right? Um, and you're trying to get business loans and business credit using Subway,
Mhm.
you might be able to get it because you've already been vetted by Subway. But most of the time, you can't even get a franchise if you have bad credit. Like even Subway's not even going to work with you if you have bad credit. So don't worry. If you have bad credit, come to me and help me. And I'll help you fix your credit, so that
Exactly.
won't be an issue. Because yeah, your credit is literally like your report card to these businesses. If you can't handle your personal, in their mind, you can't handle a business. That's how they
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, well, it's true to be honest with you. I mean, people have to have certain things in order and in place in order for it to be successful and continue to be successful. Sometimes people have good business ideas. Sometimes people can start something, but they can't finish it, or it folds or flops, and then they wonder why. So again, yeah, so that's good stuff that you provided today. Um, I appreciate you always. So your website, Cure My Credit 700.com. That's one
Yes.
way for them to reach out to you. And then the other way is your cell number, which is 617-955-4599. They can call or text you in order to reach you. That is if they want personal or business credit. But today we were talking about business credit. So, hopefully they reach out to you for that, and then you can explain or elaborate a little bit more as far as what you have to offer for them.
Yes, I would love. I love it. I love business credit. I love personal credit. I just love credit. I think it just opens so many doors for people to have, possibilities that weren't there before. So yeah, it's like I love it so much. It's easy for me. So even if it looks hard for you and you think it's hard to fix your personal credit or build your business credit, it's not for me. Like I can walk you through it and you
Right.
can have it happen.
Right.
So
Yeah. So that's good for you because of the fact that um like you always, I mean, what I always like to tell people, sometimes we juggle more hats than we should as people. But a lot of times when you allow the person or the people who are professionals to do it, you get such better results. And again, even
yeah.
like with the credit situation, like I said, I had you on last week to talk about credit, but even before that, I went over credit because some people tend to want to do it themselves. But I always realize that a lot of people, not saying all, but a lot of people who tend to want to do it by themselves, it'll be a whole year later and they ain't really done much. You understand? It's very few people who actually do it, stick to it, get the results that they want. You know what I'm saying? They may get results, but it's not necessarily the results that they want. And in any profession and stuff, people try to do things themselves, just like in real estate. I remember one time having a client and she had a coworker, and the first day I met with her, took her out, showed the house, made an offer. She went to settlement in 30 days or so. And she told me her coworker had been online, um, told her she didn't need a realtor and she can buy a house herself. He was looking for a house over a year and still hadn't found a house.
Yeah.
Over a year. She found one and went to settlement in about a month. And that's what I'm saying. You can get results, but it's not always the results you want unless you have the professional that do things. And when it pertains to credit, you're very good at this credit game and stuff. That's why I refer everybody to you. I always
Thank
send
you. I
them.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
and I always like to tell people how good you are as far as dealing with my credit, and I'm definitely going to jump on the business credit thing, especially going into
Yes.
2023, because there's some things that I need to do business wise. And like I said, anyone else who has a business, who's starting a business, wants you to help them with their personal or business credit, should and can reach out to you via your website, which is curemycredit700.com. And then also, again, your phone number, 617-955-4599.
Very good.
Well, Anita, I appreciate you as
Thank
always.
you for inviting me back.
Yes, yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? I'll have you come on again, like, probably in like a couple of months to go over some other things and stuff. So I always like to bring people back on, especially people when they're talking about things as refresher. And then sometimes when new things come up, you can share that as well with people. So I
Yes,
thank you for
definitely.
your time. I appreciate you. I want you to enjoy this weekend.
You
It's going to
too.
be a nice day today if you can. So
Yes, I was just out jogging. That's why I'm a little sweaty.
we
Yeah.
can't see that, you know what I'm saying? But thank you as well. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. So that was Benita Grant from Cure My Credit. And she is the person that, like I said, she's very good at what she does. As far as credit is concerned, if you have personal or business credits that you want to improve on, you need help with, I strongly recommend Benita. Like I said before, been working with her for about 7, 8 years now. She deals personally with my credit. I don't like to refer anyone that I would not use myself. And I'm definitely using her. She's helped me in many ways. She's helped many of my clients. She's even helped some people just improve their credit who are not trying to buy a house, just want their credit improved. And she's great at doing so. So again, I'm just going to leave her information briefly for those who missed it and everything. So, um, That was Benita Grant of Cure My Credit, and we were talking about business credit. So again, the ending topic of today is going to be above and beyond. I'm just going to elaborate on this because I posted something recently on social media, and I got some feedback from it from some of my colleagues and also other people, and even people who commented and said, "Oh, that's right on time." I said, some people refuse to celebrate you because you've grown beyond the limits that they've given you. And the reason why I posted that was last week I had went and met with one of my colleagues, and it was some other people there, and we were talking. And this guy's a broker, and he was talking about his buddy and everything that also does real estate but refuses to go to his brokerage. I just met the guy, so he was sharing some thoughts and ideas about why, and he couldn't understand it. And I just had to elaborate to him that sometimes people in this world don't want to support you because they don't want you to go further than them. And then sometimes people don't support people because they don't expect you to be as successful as you are. So people will put limitations on you, which you can and cannot do. But no one can really put limitations on you but you. I say that to say, I remember when I first got into real estate, um, I used to work for Metro. For those who are in DC, Maryland area, I used to work in Metro in the Treasury Department. I also used to work for FedEx. And I remember those were two good jobs, and there's still two good jobs and everything. And I remember my father, who worked for the government, when I started doing the real estate, he was like, "Oh, why are you giving up your jobs with benefits to go, you know what I'm saying, work for the, you don't know what you do. At least you got benefits with them jobs." So I said to him, I said, "Dad, you're right. That's true. There are guarantees with that. But how do I know what I can do if I don't try to do it?" So I said, he was like, "Oh, but you ain't got to worry about health insurance. You ain't got to worry about da 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 da." And I said, "Yes, Dad, that's true. But if I'm making X amount of dollars, who cares about that? Because I can pay for it myself." So my father had a limitation on what I could and could not do. He didn't say it specifically, but I can just tell by the conversation we was having, he didn't think that I would be able to do certain things. And also, I remember when I first got into real estate that I was involved in a relationship, and the person told me, "I don't see you selling any houses. There are thousands of real estate agents." And I thought that was kind of odd, being as though that she was a hairdresser, and there are thousands of hairstylists. So I said to her, "No one on this earth can tell me how high I can fly with my wings." I said to her, "You're not God. Only God can tell me how high I can fly with my wings." And I say that to say to you also, only God can tell you how high you can fly with your wings. You know, don't let anyone put limits on you. Don't let anyone who's never supported you, you know what I'm saying, discourage you. Don't think too long about it, because again, sometimes the people that you're closest to, such as that guy who grew up with that other fella, and he was disappointed, he couldn't figure it out, he was dwelling on it, it was hurtful to him. I can tell he was disappointed and hurt by the fact that his friend who he grew up with did not support him. But don't let anyone put limitations on you, because people will do that because of fear sometimes. Sometimes people will have jealousy and envy of you because of the way you move, because you're being successful, because things are going your way, things are not going their way. So they can't understand it, because some people feel like they're entitled to success and you're not. But the thing about it is, though, is you go above and beyond the limits that they ever had for you. And sometimes you don't even know that they had these limitations for you, because they're not going to tell you. But you can always tell in the behavior that they act, the way that they talk, the lack of support, the criticism, the slick criticism. And I say that to say that people will say, "Oh, how your little job doing, or how that's coming along, or you still doing that thing." You know what I'm saying? You know, people will say that as if you're not supposed to continue to do that thing. You know, it's the thing that you chose to do. But people act like, you know what I'm saying, you're not supposed to do it. So I say that to say that sometimes it can be hurtful when people that we want to support us to do things, but they don't support us. But only God can tell you how high and how low you can fly with your wings. No human being on this earth, I don't care what the situation or circumstances look like, no one on this earth can tell you what you can and cannot do. You put limits on yourself by allowing the thoughts of others to affect you, especially negatively. You know, if people are not speaking life into you, eliminate them. When people are not encouraging you, eliminate them. If they can't pray for you, respect you, encourage you, inspire you, eliminate them because you can do bad by yourself. And the thing about it is, sometimes when you're by yourself, you'll find out that that's when you fly the highest that you'll ever fly because you don't have the extra burden on you dealing with other people. So I wanted to say that about the above and beyond. So today's recap, and please, please, please do not forget to subscribe to the channels at the bottom, my YouTube channel, and to follow me on all social media platforms. But I'm going to do the recap real quick. The recap is when it pertains to real estate, deed in lieu, short sales, and foreclosures. And remember, all of those properties are normally priced at or below market value, depending on the condition of the property. But a deed in lieu is a voluntary foreclosure when you give back the property to the mortgage company that you're paying. But you will pay the difference or be harassed for it, and it will be a debt to you if it's not sold at whatever you owe. A short sale is when you're basically selling the property for less than market value and less than what you owe on the property. And the mortgage company that you have has to approve the final sale. And they ask for a lot of documentations from you. And the process is not short at all. It's normally 3 months minimum. And then also foreclosure. It is when homeowners default on their property. You know, unfortunately, things happen. You know, doesn't matter what the price point is, things happen. It's called life. So, you know, the one thing about a foreclosure is after 4 years, you can buy another home. With a short sale, after 2 years, you can buy another home. So those are the things when it pertains to real estate today. And then I just had Benita Grant on here to talk to us about business credit. She has very, very good information. If you need help with your personal credit, if you need help with your business credit, I strongly suggest for you to reach out to Benita Grant. Again, her website is right there, curemycredit700.com. Please let her know that I've referred you. She's excellent. Also, her number right here is 617-955-4599. You can call or text her. All right. If you can't reach her, text her. She will respond. And if you want to check out our website again, it's right there, curemycredit700.com. And then again, I was talking about going above and beyond. The fact is, some people that you deal with in this world are going to set limitations for you, and it's going to be unbeknownst to you because sometimes these people will be the people closest to you, family, friends, spouses, colleagues at work. But like I said, only God can tell you how high you can fly with your wings. Let no one stop you from doing the things that you want to do because the only thing that can stop you is you, fear in you. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let anything stop you because you were made to do whatever it is you set out to do. That's why the thought and the visions keeps coming to you because it's meant for you to do. So as long as you can get over that hurdle and do what it is that's on your mind, regardless of what it is, if you can perceive it, you can achieve it. Remember that. If you can perceive it, you can achieve it, regardless of what's going on. So thank you again. I thank you all for checking out my show, Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live, each and every Friday at 12 noon. Follow me on all my social media platforms and check out my website, damontheagent.com. See you next week.